Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you have ever wanted a super clear, no-nonsense roadmap to understanding how wealth is actually built and maintained, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're jumping straight into the 7 unbreakable rules of wealth generation.
So let's just kick things off with a question that honestly probably keeps a lot of us up at 2 a.m. Why exactly do some people just keep getting richer while others seem to struggle financially their entire lives? It's a heavy question for sure, and it's the exact problem we're tackling right out of the gate today.
It is so easy to fall into this trap, right? Thinking that the wealthy just hit the genetic lottery, or they're inherently more talented, or they're just grinding out punishing 80-hour work weeks. But the reality, it's radically different. And frankly, it's a whole lot more empowering. Wealth doesn't come from sheer luck. It actually comes from following a few really simple rules consistently.
Act 2. Build your financial foundation.
All right, this brings us to rule 1. Pay yourself first. And honestly, making this shift is massive psychologically. Because instead of paying everyone else first, your landlord, your phone company, the grocery store, and just hoping to save whatever happens to be left, you completely flip the script. You have to treat yourself as your most important bill.
Just imagine your entire income divided up into 3 distinct slices. That savings and investment slice, that has to be the very first one you take out. You treat it as a completely non-negotiable expense. Once that portion is safely locked away, then you handle your bills and necessities. And then, only finally, whatever is left is your discretionary spending. Next up in our defensive playbook, we've got Rule 4, avoid bad debt. Look, not all debt is created equal, and recognizing the difference is exactly what keeps you from falling into a massive financial hole.
Bad debt is literally like carrying around a massive anchor. You're borrowing money at crazy high interest rates for things that rapidly lose value, like a flashy wardrobe or some extravagant vacation, which really just creates long-term financial stress. Productive borrowing, on the flip side, is about deeply understanding the costs to acquire things that will eventually pay you back.
To round out this financial foundation, we hit Rule 7, control your lifestyle. Honestly, this is exactly the spot where so many people trip up and completely lose their momentum.
We've all been there, right? The second you get a $50 raise, you suddenly need a nicer car, or you want to move into a fancier apartment. But truly wealthy people actively fight this lifestyle creep. They consciously cap their spending. They choose to live below their means, and then they take that extra income and invest the difference. Moving on to Act 3, multiply your money.
Rule 2 is all about making your money work for you. Because here's the thing, you simply cannot rely on your physical labor alone to generate wealth. You have to stop being the only employee in your life. Instead of just waiting on that next paycheck, you've got to start acquiring productive assets. We're talking about things like stocks, real estate, or business equity, assets that actually hold value or generate cash entirely on their own. You're effectively hiring your dollars to go out into the world and earn more dollars for you 24/7.
Which naturally leads us right into Rule 5. The most financially successful people out there, they never rely on just one source of income. If you only have one paycheck, you have a single point of failure. The day that paycheck stops, your entire financial world is instantly at risk.
Think about it. If you only have one income stream, your vulnerability is just incredibly high. Over time, the wealthy build robust financial security by creating multiple ways to earn. Whether that's starting a side business, snagging dividend-paying investments, or creating digital products, they're building a resilient financial ecosystem. Next up, Act 4, develop the wealth mindset. This brings us to Rule 3, which emphasizes the absolute necessity of continuous learning. Markets shift, economies change, and new opportunities are constantly popping up. So whether it's reading books or picking up a new technical skill, stagnant knowledge practically guarantees stagnant wealth.
It's like that old saying, financial education doesn't stop after school. The most successful folks are always actively hunting for new information because they understand that upgrading their knowledge directly translates to vastly better financial decisions long after graduation. The final piece of this mindset puzzle is Rule 6, always think long-term. And let's be real. In our modern era of instant gratification and these crazy 60-second viral success stories, this is often the absolute hardest rule to follow.
You absolutely have to avoid the trap of chasing those get-rich-quick schemes. They're inherently tied to sky-high risk and, usually, frequent failure. True, unbreakable wealth, it's a slow, steady march. It's having the patience to let your assets compound and the discipline to stick to your strategy over decades, not days.
Finally,
let's wrap up with Act 5. Start your journey today.
And hey, here is the absolute best news. Building wealth is not about being perfect. You don't have to be some flawless financial guru from day one. You're definitely going to make mistakes. The secret is simply making a slightly better financial decision today than you did yesterday. To keep from getting completely overwhelmed, just start simple. Pick just one of these 7 rules today. Maybe it's paying yourself first, or consciously capping that lifestyle creep. Master that single rule until it becomes pure second nature, and then only then move to the next step. So looking back at the 7 rules we just unpacked, which one feels like the biggest missing piece for you? Which single rule, if you applied it right this second, would completely alter your financial trajectory? Pick it, master it, and let the process begin. Because trust me, your future self will absolutely thank you for starting today.